Welcome to the next episode in my series, The Number One Albums of 1984. This week, we're going to look at the third album that made it into the top spot, Sports, by Huey Lewis and the News. Sports is the band's third album, and it was released on September 15, 1983 by Chrysalis Records. It spent a total of 160 weeks on the chart, peaking at number 1 on June 30th, 1984, and it only managed to hold the top spot for 1 week. It's also interesting to note that Sports was self-produced by the band. The first single released from the album was Heart and Soul. It was released on August 30th, 1983, and it peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in November of 1983. It spent a total of 21 weeks on the chart, and it was a cover song. It was originally recorded in 1981 by the band Exile. The second single from the album was I Want a New Drug. It was released January 3rd, 1984. It peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart on March 24th, 1984, and it spent a total of 19 weeks on the chart. Apparently, Huey Lewis was driving to his lawyer's office when he came up with the idea for the song. When he arrived at the office, he asked for a pen and paper and wrote down almost all of the lyrics to the song while he was in the office. For a while, the band had trouble coming up with music for the song, but one day, Chris Hayes, the guitarist for the band, called Huey and said, "I've got it." He went over to Huey's house, played him the guitar lick, and they put the song down on tape. I Want a New Drug was also used as a placeholder in footage of Ghostbusters that was given to Ray Parker Jr. when he was writing the theme. The footage was given to him to inspire his writing. But when the song came out, the similarities were apparent, and Huey Lewis filed a lawsuit for copyright infringement that was eventually settled out of court. The third single released from the album was The Heart of Rock and Roll. It was released on April 10th, 1984, and peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in June of '84. The song was developed after the band played at the Agora Theater in Cleveland, Ohio in 1980. The next day, Huey Lewis remarked to the band that The Heart of Rock and Roll really is in Cleveland, and that would make for a good song. When it came to writing the lyrics, "In Cleveland" was replaced with "Still Beating," and apparently several regional versions of the song were released that included different cities at the end. The fourth single from the album was If This Is It. It was released July 10th, 1984, and it peaked at number 6 on the Billboard charts in September of 1984, spending a total of 17 weeks on the chart. John Callow wrote the music for the song before the lyrics were written, and Huey Lewis wrote those lyrics while traveling on the tour bus. The fifth single, Walking on a Thin Line, was released in October of 1984 and peaked at number 18 on the charts. The song is about the soldiers of the Vietnam War, and in live performances, Lewis would often dedicate the song to Vietnam veterans. Other songs from the album include Bad is Bad, originally written by Lewis for his band Clover, Finally Found a Home, You Crack Me Up, and Honky Tonk Blues, which was originally performed by Hank Williams. With making the album Sports, the band wanted to do something that felt old and new at the same time. They wanted to marry new technology with old school sound. They were actually inspired by Steely Dan's use of the Linn drum in Hey 19. The album and songs were nominated for several Grammys. The music video for The Heart of Rock and Roll won the Grammy for Best Music Video Long Form at the 28th Grammy Awards. Also at the 28th Grammys, Power of Love was nominated for Best Pop Performance by a Group or Duo and Record of the Year. At the 26th Grammys in 1983, Heart and Soul was nominated for Best Rock Performance by a Group or Duo, and at the 27th Grammys in 1984, Heart of Rock and Roll was nominated for Record of the Year. Well, that wraps it up for Sports by Huey Lewis and the News. Next time, make sure you bring your blue jeans and your ball cap because we're going to look at Born in the USA.